In 1521 AD, the course of Mexican history changed forever. The Aztec capital fell to the Spanish conquerors. The colonial period lasted for 3 centuries until Mexico won its independence. But the cities that were the glories of that time are still casting their enchanting spells.
Now, the colonial cities in Mexico open the doors to the country's vivid past. For many, this historical site somehow captured the essence of the real Mexico.
And as you're about to discover, you'll find them in all sorts of magical settings. Join us as we discover the romance of days gone by in Tours of Mexico.
Guadalajara is perhaps the most Mexican of all the Mexican cities.
Think of any food, drink, dance, or traditions identified with Mexico,
And chances are they began here in Guadalajara.
Located in the state of Jalisco at an altitude of 5,200 feet, Guadalajara is not only the second largest city in Mexico, it is one of the most serenely beautiful cities in all of North America.
There is some intangible combination of qualities that makes visitors feel at home in Guadalajara. It's a city of parks and fountains, of monuments and roses. Color is everywhere in this city of roses. It's a modern city cloaked in colonial charm. Traces of Spanish influence that began in 1542 can be seen in the lavish colonial architecture of lovely mansions and Gothic churches that decorate this metropolis, which uniquely mix with new skyscrapers and fine hotels.
The people of Guadalajara are famous for having a zest for life that is truly infectious. They are proud of the many Mexican traditions that began here, including enchiladas, tequila, the Mexican hat dance, mariachi music, and the charreada, which is a Mexican-style rodeo.
You'll find that there's plenty to see and do here in Guadalajara. Everything from cathedrals, cultural centers, and theaters, to museums, plazas, and parks invite you to stroll through this fantasy for sightseers. As for native crafts and shopping, Guadalajara is unsurpassed. Several shopping malls, street-side stores, and craft centers are filled with unique handicrafts, contemporary clothing, and a fine selection of leather goods. Then head to Mercado Libertad, one of the largest markets in all of Latin America, with more than 1,000 stands selling just about anything you could imagine.
It is said that scarcely a day passes that you cannot play golf in Guadalajara, the golf capital of Mexico. There are more than half a dozen championship quality courses in and around the city. It is also one of Mexico's greatest tennis centers. You'll find excellent and well-lit facilities throughout the city.
Dining in Guadalajara is known to be an elegant, sumptuous experience. Feast on the many Mexican specialties available in both posh and casual restaurants all over the city. For those of you who want a taste of authentic Mexican culture, the gentility of old Mexico, and the conveniences of modern-day luxury, come visit the colonial graciousness of Guadalajara.
San Miguel de Allende, one of the birthplaces of Mexican history, where the city itself speaks of the past.
Known as an artistic and intellectual center and for its great shopping, San Miguel offers a lot more than ancient symbolism.
Come discover the attractions of this colonial city, which boasts a lifestyle all its own.
San Miguel is one of several important cities located between Mexico City and Guadalajara, but it definitely has a magic all its own. San Miguel de Allende nourishes our spirits with the ancestral character of its winding cobblestone streets, colorful, lush courtyards and parks, wrought iron gates, and thick stone walls that hold within them a hidden beauty. It's an international town in a Mexican colonial setting, so strikingly lovely in its architecture that it's been designated as a national monument.
The city is named after Ignacio Allende, a leader in the war for independence from Spain, and it still retains much of its colonial authenticity and charm, as clearly visible in the architectural treasures that illuminate the town. Towering over the Zócalo, or main square, is a 17th century Gothic-style church which can be seen from any point in the city's surrounding hills.
Besides its beauty, climate, and hospitality, people come from far and wide to experience what is known as an artist's delight and inspiration. A large percentage of the population are foreigners here to study, draw, paint, sculpt, or retire in the Mexican sunshine.
You'll find that various centers have been devoted to the study of the arts, some of which have been built on old abandoned haciendas. San Miguel is truly an artistic and intellectual center.
The town is also a field day for shoppers. As might be expected, this colonial city is brimming with artwork. But you'll also see a seemingly endless array of other high-quality shops and exclusive boutiques that will keep even the veteran shopper occupied for hours. Especially good buys are metalworks, ceramics, furniture, wooden doors, and handicrafts.
In San Miguel de Allende, dining is an art form. You'll find yourself in some of the most picturesque settings, enjoying fantastic international cuisine, time and time again. You can always count on San Miguel's warm hospitality.
Get to know San Miguel de Allende, the cradle of Mexico's colorful past.
Here in the heart of Mexico is one of the country's most strikingly beautiful cities, fascinating Guanajuato.
From lavish churches and elaborate mansions to winding cobblestone streets and twisting tunnels, you'll find a new surprise around every corner here.
The best way to explore this historical city is to just lose yourself in it.
Let's explore Guanajuato.
Just to the west of Mexico City is the picturesque city of Guanajuato. Its special character is formed by history and geography. It's the site of some of the most important acts of the Mexican independent movement, and it has one of the world's most unusual street systems. Have your camera ready. A trip to Guanajuato is like opening an encyclopedia of unforgettable scenery.
Below ground is the city's unique labyrinth of subterranean highways. Cars now drive through the stone arch tunnels that were once the city flood control canals.
Above ground, a maze of cobbled streets, narrow alleyways, steep stairways, and brick bridges wind up and down the city's hillsides. In fact, some of the streets have legends, such as the famous and extremely narrow Callejón de Beso, or Alley of the Kiss.
The first battle and victory in the fight for independence took place in Guanajuato, as evidenced by the numerous monuments.
The city's place in history was also assured when silver veins were discovered, and Guanajuato was built from the subsequent wealth. Today, this can be appreciated by seeing the dazzling display of fine architecture in the ornate mansions, detailed churches, public buildings, and Baroque theaters.
The tradition of a sophisticated cultural scene is ever present in the city's dedication to the world of theater and its renowned International Cervantes Festival.
Guanajuato is made for walking. It seems that every tiny side street leads to inviting parks, quaint houses, impressive buildings, or street-side cafes. There's a certain flavor of this colorful city that can only be felt by strolling through it. Other attractions in Guanajuato include the many museums that carefully tell of the region's rich past. Several old haciendas and universities also attest to the magnificent architectural wizards and dynamic legends of the past. And for shopping, the local stores are clean, colorful, and full of interesting crafts.
In this crowning jewel of colonial cities, dining tends to be laid back. Enjoy regional specialty plates as you listen to traditional sounds of the Estudiantina, the talented and famous choir that sings of Guanajuato's charm.
Guanajuato is the perfect place to forget the 20th century.
Some of Mexico's most significant historical events took place right here in Queretaro.
The city holds several treasures, and as you're about to find out, it's a true gem of colonial architecture.
So venture back centuries with us as we explore Queretaro.
Queretaro is just north of Mexico City and is the capital of the state of the same name. It's an overwhelming center of Spanish colonial architecture and a crossroads of Mexican history. Everywhere you look, there is evidence of the city's dual religious and historical legacy.
The city was taken over by the Spanish in 1531, and many beautiful churches were subsequently built. As visible in the many colonial buildings, Queretaro played a leading role in the struggle for independence and revolution.
A sense of civic pride prevails in the town's main square, which is carefully dotted with monuments that depict tales of ancient legends. It is the meeting place for local residents, pensive businessmen, relaxing travelers, and anyone who enjoys the warm and colorful setting of smiling faces, blooming flowers, and antique fountains. Another way to catch a glimpse of not only Queretaro's interesting past, but also its involvement with the arts, is to visit one of several museums that abound in the area, some of which have been constructed in buildings that have been here for hundreds of years.
It is virtually impossible not to see a hacienda if you visit Queretaro. These old ranches that have lasted throughout the city's trying times decorate the town and its surrounding areas. Some have been renovated and now allow guests to stay in the ancient dwellings, just as people did hundreds of years ago.
Queretaro is also famous for its enormous aqueduct, which is a unique structure consisting of 72 solid arches that have provided water to the city for years, just another relic that proudly symbolizes the city. After spending the day gazing at the many miraculous testaments of Mexico's enthralling past, you can also discover that due to its closeness to Mexico City, Queretaro is also a modern commercial center, so be prepared to do some serious shopping.
Then end your day by feasting on any number of regional or Mexican specialties the various restaurants in Queretaro offer, and reminisce of your day spent traveling back in time.
The charm and romance of Mexico's vivid past come alive every day here in Mexico City, capital of the country.
Mexico City is like an enormous living museum of Mexican history.
And even if at first this world-class city impresses you with its cosmopolitan flair,
You'll be amazed by its colonial and historical treasures.
Located in the Distrito Federal and surrounded by towering mountains, Mexico City is a remarkable showplace for nearly 3,000 years of human cultural development. It was actually built on the ruins of the Aztec Empire's most important city. Aside from being the oldest continuously inhabited city in the Western Hemisphere, it's also the largest city the world has ever known. It is the economic, political, and cultural center of Mexico, and prides itself on being chic and modern, while at the same time showcasing its colorful ancient roots.
The best place to start is the Centro Histórico, or the Historic District. Its heart is the Plaza de la Constitución, more commonly referred to as the Zócalo. This was built by the Spanish from the stones of the Aztecs' main temple. The size of the Zócalo is staggering. It's the second largest city square in the world. A tour of this area will give you an overview of the city's history. You will see palaces, museums, churches, and much, much more.
More wonders can be found in Chapultepec Park, a vast cultural and recreational center spanning over 2,000 acres. This enormous park is a site of family picnics and important institutions. Visitors can enjoy some of the country's finest museums here, as well as botanical gardens, beautiful lakes, romantic settings, and many other unique features of the park. At Chapultepec Park, you won't want to miss seeing one of the world's finest museums, the National Museum of Anthropology. It displays thousands of artifacts and exhibits dedicated to Mexico's 30 centuries of human evolution. Also in the park is the famous Chapultepec Castle.
For an unforgettable passage into the past, visit Teotihuacan, just 31 miles northeast of Mexico City. This ceremonial city, which began in 500 AD, was one of the most important cities in the continent. The two most impressive structures are the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon.
Obviously, Mexico City is not easily conquered. More surprises can be found at the Palace of Fine Arts, where the Ballet Folklórico performs regularly. Visit the elegant neighborhood of the Zona Rosa, or spend the day seeing all the amazing historical monuments. If you still have the energy, you'll undoubtedly be swept away by the city's world-class shopping. There are endless opportunities here to wander through cosmopolitan shops and tempting marketplaces, displaying cultural keepsakes.
In addition to being a cultural mecca, Mexico City is also a dining paradise. Everything from ultra-luxurious to the simple and the rustic is available. And you'll find that practically every ethnic cuisine from the world is served here. Then you can finish the evening off enjoying the famous Mexican nightlife.
So allow plenty of time for your visit. Come experience this captivating and pulsating city.
Now we're going to visit Taxco, Mexico's famed silver city.
But this town's seduction goes way beyond its mineral content.
It's all about charm, beauty, and history, and that's just the beginning.
Let's visit Taxco.
Taxco is undoubtedly one of the most beautiful colonial cities in all of Mexico. This silver mining town is built on the side of a mountain, nestled in the Sierra Madre Mountains, halfway between Mexico City and Acapulco.
No matter where you look, you'll see incredible views and evidence of its rich colonial heritage. The narrow and steep cobblestone streets twist in every direction. Hundreds of quaint colonial homes with red tile roofs cascade down the curvaceous hills of this picturesque village.
This is a city that truly sparkles. Special visitors are greeted by proud residents flashing mirrors in symbolism of the famed silver town.
Taxco's silver industry was given a boost by Don José de la Borda, who, upon revealing this rich lode of silver, constructed one of the most magnificent churches in Mexico, thanking God for his discovery. The famed Santa Prisca Church, lavishly decorated with ornate detail, bestows an overwhelming beauty that must be seen to be truly appreciated. See proof of Taxco's underground treasure in the more than 300 attractive silver shops that are scattered throughout the city. Shining silver jewelry, handmade silver pottery, and other opulent temptations lure you from one tiny workshop and store to another. Make sure you stroll through the charming Zócalo, a great place for people watching and eating in cafes. Its intimate setting provides the perfect ambiance to enhance the breathtaking sightseeing here in Taxco.
The sights don't stop there, though. A string of grottos, wondrous and well-illuminated caves and taverns host chambers of natural beauty, highlighted by interesting rock structures formed from water dripping from the ceiling.
Fine hotels and dining are also part of Taxco's inviting attractions. And don't miss the views of this unforgettable village at night, when the sparkling city lights emulate the dazzling silver core of the region.
In Taxco, you will revel in vista after vista. Your eyes and heart will tell you that it has been worth the trip. Welcome to beautiful Oaxaca.
This city will warm you not only with its irresistible colonial charm, but also with its hearty and friendly people.
Step back in the past with us as we visit the splendor of Oaxaca.
Just southeast of Mexico City lies the magical city of Oaxaca. Founded in 1529, this city represents a combination of traits that bring veteran visitors back again and again. The incredible blend of its rich provincial atmosphere and its unpretentious, relaxed pace will greet you like no other city.
Bright colors and happy faces abound in the streets of Oaxaca. A stroll along any of the city's immaculate streets is a sightseeing event within itself.
Enjoy the year-round, spring-like climate as you visit the famous Zócalo, full of relaxing tourists, cheerful residents, colorful plants, and unique charm. Dotted around the Zócalo are several inviting cafes where friends, couples, and families spend countless hours enjoying the intriguing sights and delicious cuisine. You'll also find that the art and craft tradition of Oaxaca is unsurpassed in Mexico. Nearby, artisans in several markets and workshops proudly display their world-renowned handicrafts, including intricately designed rugs, colorful dolls, native paintings, and traditional clothing, all reflecting the rich cultural heritage of native Oaxacans.
Reminders of the extraordinary past decorate Oaxaca through its Baroque colonial architecture. See how the 16th century thrives in the wondrous cathedrals and churches. And relive the past in the alluring museums and missions that are also found throughout the city.
For those of you who prefer to see the past in a different light, several well-known archaeological sites await your exploration just 25 miles outside of Oaxaca City. Perhaps one of the most festive ways to enjoy Oaxaca is to participate in one of its biggest celebrations, La Guelaguetza.
To visit Oaxaca is to experience true hospitality, a diverse past, and a flavorful culture.
This is the oldest colonial city in all of Mexico. In fact, twice it was the nation's capital during crucial times.
It is also a beach resort with some great surprises and some of the most vivacious people in this country.
This is Veracruz.
Located on the Gulf of Mexico, about 250 miles east of Mexico City, is Mexico's oldest colonial city and one of the most vital ports, Veracruz, where Hernán Cortés landed on Good Friday in 1519. Old colonial-style buildings line the palm-framed streets. See the past in the Zócalo, which is surrounded by a Moorish municipal palace and an 18th century church. You'll also see amazing fortresses that were erected around the city to protect the port from pirates and other foreign invaders.
For Veracruz, the constant contact with people from foreign lands has resulted in a mix of lively people with a European flair, as you'll see while sipping your café con leche at one of the quaint sidewalk cafes.
Although the colonial setting of Veracruz harkens back to the days of early Spain, its personality is quite different from other, more secluded colonial cities. Just go to one of the nearby beaches and get lost in a tropical world of pure relaxation here in the sultry Gulf Coast.
Now, once you've headed towards the water, be ready to dive by some of the most scenic reefs in Mexico. It is said that Jacques Cousteau frequented Veracruz for its incredible diving. And don't forget the fishing. Spend the entire day out at sea, reeling them in.
It should be noted that the Caribbean has also influenced Veracruz, especially in music and dance. It's actually the place that invented the popular La Bamba. Carnival time here is an uninhibited outburst of color and celebration.
Spend your days in Veracruz visiting the past in museums and historical sites, plunging into adventure on the beach, or experiencing the unmatched ecotourism that Veracruz has to offer.
The core of Veracruz activity is its main plaza, which is also where you'll find an incredible selection of cafes and restaurants to dine in. Not far away is the Malecón, a waterfront boulevard where restaurants specialize in seafood delicacies. Evenings, too, people congregate in the sidewalk cafes to listen to the enchanting sounds of the tropical music. Others opt to meet in the Zócalo to socialize.
Veracruz has a deserved fame as the liveliest of Mexican cities. Come feel the atmosphere that is reminiscent of the past and proud of the present.
This is Merida, Mexico's gorgeous colonial city where you can literally step back centuries into time and experience the Mayan culture and history.
And that's not all Merida offers. Side trips have spectacular ecological reserves and beautiful beaches full of activities.
So join us as we explore this jewel of the Yucatan Peninsula.
Merida lies 20 miles inland from the western Yucatan coast. It is known as the White City for the neatness on the streets. It is also the capital of Yucatan State and was founded in 1542 by Francisco de Montejo. It is a place where you can enjoy the slow pace of colonial life with the advantages of modern days.
Perhaps no word better describes this charming city than diversity. Nowhere else will you find the surprising blend of unique colonial history, preserved archaeological sites, meticulously crafted architecture, a quaint tropical beach, and beautiful ecotourism locations. The enchanting flavor of this friendly city is pleasantly boasted in every nook and cranny. At its inception, Merida emerged on a major ceremonial center and is now a proud witness of two great epochs of its history, the greatness of the Mayan culture and Spanish colonial times. Each street and wall talks of the past, a past which left several witnesses, and evidence of the city's flirtation with the European culture, especially France.
Merida's obvious magical encounter with the past is evident in its many surrounding archaeological sites, which demonstrate the magic of the Mayan culture, a highly advanced civilization of amazingly knowledgeable craftsmen.
Testimonies of this rich past interestingly transcend into the unique architecture of Merida, as many of the haciendas and cathedrals were constructed primarily from materials scavenged from the Mayan structures. The exquisite detail of architectural genius can be appreciated by strolling along the Paseo de Montejo, full of elegant old mansions.
Beach lovers will be happy to know that Merida is only 20 minutes away from the tranquil tropical waters of Puerto Progreso.
As you enjoy the natural splendor of the area, it's obvious that Merida has a majestic personality and unmistakable identity, visible from the many ecotourism sites nearby. See the flamingos, the aristocrats of the coasts and swamps, and the many other species of birds that reaffirm their beauty in the splendid landscape of the Yucatan coast. You'll also see other natural phenomena such as breathtaking underground caves and cenotes, mystical underground water sources utilized by the Mayan civilization. While outdoors, don't miss browsing through the ample variety of markets, stocked with hammocks, handicrafts, and other treasures that will remind you of your stay here in Merida.
Be sure to visit one of the city's many alluring parks, full of character and personality and romanticism. Then indulge in Merida's cuisine. It's especially attractive due to its variety and diversity of regional dishes.
Merida is a historical legacy worth getting to know. Delight in this eclectic city that exudes colonial character.
Every year, more visitors enjoy the very treasures of Mexico's colonial cities.
To walk these historic streets is to retrace the steps in the birth of a nation.
We've seen only a glimpse of Mexico's long and colorful past. There are over 51 designated colonial cities to explore.
So choose your own path back in time and enjoy the visual feast in Mexico's gorgeous colonial cities.